Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Danielle Gray. I am a manifestation and mindset coach, transformational teacher, and spiritual mentor, elevating you to your highest and best so that you can live a life that you love. Now, for those of you who maybe haven't caught the first couple of vlog episodes, my family and I are in the process of, my family being my son, my husband, and I, are in the process of relocating to Nicaragua. Literally 8 days from the time of recording, we are going to get on a plane, fly out to Nicaragua. We'll land and be in our new home before dinner time on September 10th, which is absolutely crazy to me. So if you missed vlog 1 or 2, please go and check those out. Vlog 1 talks about how, why, and when we decided we're going and kind of the lead up to the decision process and an introduction to this vlog series. And vlog number 2 just goes into how we have been continuously and compoundingly receiving synchronicities, confirmation, and good vibe messages from the universe that we are going absolutely in the right direction, and how we're leaning into the faith and trust that we're going in the right direction, which leads me to episode 3, vlog number 3, which is sharing with you how we are actually currently experiencing a bit of a tower moment financially. As right before we about to leave, I have had a few of my recurring income group coaching mastermind clients leave the program or not renew or whatever, for various reasons. Some of them financially, some of them ready to move on, some of them, whatever. Things happen, life goes on. Ultimately, it's not in alignment anymore, and that's totally fine, and I totally understand that. But it's just funny how, when we are manifesting things really do seem to fall apart before they can come together. And I really, having been here before, having been in this process for quite some time, having been on this spiritual manifestation path for almost 5 years now, I know that what's actually happening is things that no longer serve me, and people who are no longer aligned with my journey and who are not ultimately ready to accelerate their development and growth as quickly as I'm going to help facilitate that, have fallen away, right? That is what's happening, is the people that are left in my group coaching mastermind program, and anybody who may come in the future, because there is now several spots open, because I only have a limited number of seats, but currently I have some spots open now because I've had people just leave. I know that those people that are in there now and the people that will come in are the ones that are ready to elevate. They are the ones that are ready to ascend at the speed that I am going to facilitate, right? I am very confident in my ability to activate your power, your potential, and your purpose. And the people that are left in the program are ready to go where I'm going. They're ready to watch me elevate. They're ready to elevate with me. They fully understand that the ascension that I'm going on will trickle down into the collective energy of them and ripple out into the people that they know and love, and out into the world, which is one of the reasons why I'm putting these videos out, is because I want you to not only witness the transformation, witness the journey, and witness me practicing what I preach and leaning into the faith and trust that where I'm going, is where I'm supposed to go, because it is totally unknown. I really have no idea. I've never even been to Nicaragua before, let alone moved there. And I still live 35 minutes from where I grew up. And quite honestly, we live in the basement suite of my parents-in-law's house. So I moved from my parents' house to my husband's parents' house, and we have a totally separate living space, and it's all good and everything. But I have never lived away from parent figures, right? And so for me, I do understand. Now, of course, I'm not trying to place blame on anybody, because it's still my choice. It's my life. It's my decisions. It's my trajectory. But I think because of the decisions we've made and the offer we've been given, we have fallen very comfortable in being comfortable. And so parts of me still feel very much like a child, which I know is hindering my progress and my ascension and my growth. So I'm very excited to see what happens as we move forward with this new chapter, with this new journey, with this new version of our lives, right? And we're still going to be living with my husband's sister. It's not like we're going totally off on our own or anything, but it's a totally different dynamic, right? It's more like moving in with a friend, right? And we have our totally own living space too. And anyway, it doesn't matter. that's not the topic today. The topic today is how it's funny because right before we're moving, right before we really, society would have us believe that we need to have solid recurring income, right? And right now, as it stands right this second, my monthly recurring revenue is actually the lowest it's been in a long time. I did just open recently a monthly membership, which has 60 plus members in it, which is amazing. And I'll leave a link for that down below. We do monthly meditation, which sets the stage for the content for the month that we're going to focus on. And then it has weekly journaling prompts that then solidify and go into the ideas of the meditation to really develop and become who you really are, right? Through these thought-provoking journaling prompts. And then further solidified and affirmed with daily affirmations sent directly to your phone via text. So I'll leave a link for that down below. But between that and I have a group coaching mastermind program, which, like I said, has a few spots available. So I'll leave a link down below to my Instagram where you can direct message me if you're interested in applying to be in that. We're going to have a conversation. That's the whole application process is a conversation to see if we're a good fit to work together right now. And I have a very few couple of payment plan things, various and sundry courses. So one of the things that I've been working on lately actually is putting together a funnel, which I wanted to have done before I started recording these vlog episodes. But the way that my day-to-day specifically aligned is I'm actually recording the third vlog episode in one day because time permits, the weather permits, my family, my husband, my sister-in-law who's visiting from Nicaragua actually right now, and my son are off on some kind of adventure. And I have to stay here to meet with various people coming to buy our various belongings. So I decided to capitalize on the quiet house by recording some vlog episodes while they're gone. So, on paper, yes, we do have a cushion savings account because we have liquidated all of our things. So we do have that to fall back on, but we also don't really want to dip into that if we don't have to, because that's what we have. You know what I mean? Like what we have in savings is what we have. So, and we want to buy a vehicle at some point when we get there and, figure out where we want to be and what we want to drive. I'm going to need a printer for my computer. We're going to need to get a barbecue. We need to get a TV. Like there's some things that we need to get that are going to eat away at our savings right at the get-go, right? Which is what it is. But so on paper, my monthly recurring revenue doesn't look very impressive. It's not where I would ideally like to be. But I also know, and this is another example of me, as I've been talking about in these videos, leaning into the faith and trust that we're going in the right direction, and that the universe has my back, has our backs, and that we're going in the right direction. I know. And again, I've said this in a previous video. This is not the reason we're going, but I know for sure that this move, I don't know in what way yet, but I do know that this move is going to be very, 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 very beneficial to my business. And I do anticipate some of that being the different epiphanies and breakthroughs I have as I move into this new environment. And even some epiphanies I've already had as we release our stuff, which I will talk about in a future episode. But I know it's going to be good for my business. I know it's going to be good for us, our relationship, our relationship being me and my husband. I know it's going to be good for my relationship with my son. I know it's going to be good for my son and my husband's relationship, because my son is actually going to be homeschooled for grade 1, and they are going to do that, the majority of them together. And I'm going to take the time while they're doing school to do business things, and we're going to coordinate it that way. But of course, I will be taking part in school as well. And so, like I say, on paper, like if you were to look at the financials of it, it looks like maybe not the smartest idea to be relocating when the income we have coming in is the lowest it's been in a long time. But like I said at the beginning, 9 minutes ago or whatever, I fully have faith and trust that the people that have left, which have of course left with monthly recurring revenue that I was anticipating having, I know that they've left because they're not ready to go where I'm going. And ultimately what's happened is they've opened up space, because I have a limited number of spaces in my mastermind specifically. They have opened up space for people that are actually aligned with where I am now and where I'm going, and in alignment with where they're going, and we can help each other and I can help them leap into the life that they want to live, right? It's just opened up space energetically for me and for the people coming in. So I have, again, full faith that this is a very temporary situation. It's like, a lot of the times manifestation, teachers and whatever talk about the manifestation in the sense of like a slingshot, where you're being pulled back, and that's the discomfort we're having, and then you're let go and slingshot into the direction you want to go, right? So in essence, right now I'm in the pullback stage where, okay, so the slingshot just hanging, for lack of a better word, flaccid. The slingshot just hanging there, not being used at all, is where I was. And now I'm being pulled back. I'm being stretched a little bit because my monthly recurring revenue that makes me comfortable has been minimized, right? But I know that once we get where we're going, it's going to catapult in the direction that I want. And it's funny because even before we've even gotten there, I was working on, I have pre-sold a lot of copies of a planner that I'm creating called Living My Best Life Planner, which I will also leave the link below for the pre-sale of that. I was working on that the other day. And as I was working on it, this like flash of genius came to me about what I, at this moment, anticipate will be a 2-day live workshop where we'll talk about one thing, and then the participants will go off and do the work, and then we'll come back and discuss, and it'll be like an interactive coaching event, basically, right? And I got quantum embodiment is what I'm going to call it. And it's going to talk about how you need to ultimately embody the identity of the person who already has what it is that you want, and work backwards from that. So if your identity is X, then your behaviors are Y, and your values are this, and your habits are that, and whatever. And it all adds up and it gets you where you want to go, because that really is how you quantum leap to a reality that you want, by becoming the person who already has it and identifying as that person, right? But so anyway, I had this great idea and I thought, oh my God, like, and I even went as far as to being able to put the framework together. And I thought, oh my God, this is going to massively shift the trajectory of the lives of anybody who participates in this. This is crazy. And I haven't even moved yet. I'm still in the anticipatory, I don't know if that's a word, anticipatory phase of this move. And of course, I have no time to record this. Like, there's just, the idea came to me at kind of an unfavorable time, in the sense that I can't act on it right away. And I want to, because I'm so excited about it. But there's just no way. I have literally this is the most creative energy I have had in at least a month, because every ounce of my energy outside of my coaching calls and my weekly accountability submission feedback that I do on Mondays has gone into sorting, purging, organizing, planning, and packing. I have no creative energy at all. This is like the most I've had. And I've written a few pretty good posts for Facebook, but otherwise, like, that's it. Oh, and I did smash out. I was on a creative high, and I smashed out all of the September content for the Becoming You membership in only an hour and 48 minutes. I decided to time myself a few weeks ago. So I got that done way ahead of time. So I wasn't stressed out about getting that finished. But anyway, other than that, I really had no creative time at all. So there's no way that I didn't get the planner finished when I wanted. And I had to just, and I had to openly admit, I had to send an email to all of the people who had pre-ordered the planner already, because I had originally planned to get it out mid-August. And I said, look, it's mid-August. I haven't made the progress I wanted to make on it. I do apologize, but I also have to honor the fact that I'm going through a very huge, significant life change right now. And I have to really honor everything that goes along with that, inside my body, within my family unit, emotionally, spiritually, like just all of it. Right. And everyone was very, receptive, of course. But it's that good communication that I'm practicing with this move. Right. I do understand that for this to be successful, we have to be communicating openly and honestly and properly, right? All of us, me and my husband and my son and my sister-in-law, and my brother-in-law, and me with myself and me with my clients and everything, right? Which is another reason why I wanted to do this vlog series, is because I wanted to, again, have you come along for the ride and be part of that honest look into what it looks like to lean into the complete unknown. Like, I really don't have any idea what my life looks like even a month from now at this point. And I'm actually very excited about it. I've always been somebody who kind of needs to know what it looks like, or I'm not going to do it. And now I'm totally excited about the fact that I don't know what's going to happen. But my overall point is, I am very much having what you would consider a tower moment financially, because things are actually seemingly crumbling on me right when we're about to move. And it's like, this is not the ideal time for this to be happening, but it's further pushing me to lean into the faith that I'm going in the right direction, and that everything is going to work out the way that it's supposed to, and that space is being created for the people that are going to feel called to come into my space because they want to be closer to my energy and they want my guidance to help activate their power, their potential, and their purpose, just like I'm doing for my current clients and I'm doing for myself. Right? So this is very much a testament to the work that I've been doing, because if this was me 2 years ago, this would not be happening. And it was, this time 2 years ago, I actually was about 6 weeks into a job that I had to take. And I kind of mentioned this in vlog episode number 1. I dug us into a really bad financial hole, being very resistant to my own success, but also unwilling to look at how my resistance was causing our financial chaos, and et cetera, and so on. And finally, I had to go and get a job because my husband was off on medical leave. He was in no position to be going back into the workforce. And because it was my fault, I needed to take responsibility and go and get a job. And it ultimately was, the job I took was, it wasn't ideal in the sense that I didn't want to have a job. I wanted to be working on my business, but it was ideal in every other sense. Like, not only did I actually script and manifest the exact job that I needed and wanted, and I didn't know exactly what it looked like, but it had every single box that I wanted ticked, it had ticked, right down to casual attire, so that I didn't have to go and buy any more office clothes, because I didn't have any office clothes because I was a stay-at-home mom / trying to be a coach, and we had no money, like literally no money, collectors phoning, phone cut off, nothing. So there's no way I was going to be able to go out and buy clothes. I had to actually borrow some stuff from my mom to tide me over until I was comfortable with what the dress code was, or go and buy some clothes. Right. So anyway, I manifested right down to like right in town, supportive team, casual attire, et cetera, and so on. Like, it was unreal. So the experience was good. But 2 years ago, like I say, we were in a much different position, and I was not yet in the position to trust fully that things were working out the way that I wanted them to. I had affirmed over and over and over again that by the time the contract position that I had taken was over, I would be so successful that staying at the job would actually hinder my success, which ended up happening the year after. So that was 3 years ago. That was 2019. And in 2020, September 15th, 2020, I left that job. So this September 15th is actually 2 years fully self-employed. But since I went self-employed, we have had ebbs and flows in our finances, again, for various reasons. Some was, money mindset stuff. Some was financial responsibility stuff. Some was, dips in income, just like this one. But with every ebb and flow in the income, every ebb, I should say, I'm called to further solidify my faith that everything is always working out, and it always ends up working out. I always end up calling in even more aligned clients each time. Each new client that I welcome in is even a better fit than the one before, right? Even as I raise the rates too. Like, even as I raise the rates, I continue to call in, and I have chills right now thinking about it. I continue to call in better and more aligned clients than I even could imagine. Clients that light up and, love what I say and love my guidance. And I have a very, I don't sugarcoat things. I don't feel like there's any growth available to us if we sugarcoat. So I very much do, with respect and love, I say to my clients what it is they actually need me to say, not what they want to hear. That's not going to help anybody. And because I coach in that way and I mentor in that way, they are making amazing, amazing progress. Like amazing progress. They are manifesting their best lives, and I get to witness it, and it's incredible. And then in turn, they get to witness me manifest better and better and better and better circumstances for myself. And it's symbiotic, right? Because then all of the expansion that I experience, I bring back to the table and they get to experience. And all the while they get a front row backstage pass to the whole thing, because they've been in on this since, middle of February when we decided we were doing this. They've witnessed it. They've witnessed the emotional chaos that I've gone through, and the ups and downs of we've always, the trajectory, it's always been on an uphill, go towards, yes, this is the right decision. But there have been, waves in there. And I have had breakdowns of stress. And I have had days where all I can do is cry, because I'm overwhelmed and I don't know how else to process the emotions. Right. And although I'm not doing it on camera, like they are very much aware. And I'll say, I need you guys to give me the day. I just can't today, and they're very open and honest and appreciative of the fact that I am being very open and transparent with them, because it allows them, the permission really to be human as well. And I just don't believe that we should be sugarcoating and filtering and portraying what it is that we're going through differently for the public than we're actually experiencing. There's way too many coaches out there who are making it look like something it's not, making their success look like something it's not, making their journey look like something it's not. And I very much for a long time was sucked into that. I'm not going to lie. I was very much sucked into that. I was very much sucked into success looks like this. And if it's not that, that's not correct. And if I'm not dolled up on camera, it's not good enough. But this is how I look in my day-to-day life. So I don't feel like it makes any sense for me to come on here all dolled up when that's not who I am. I want this to feel like we're having a conversation at coffee. We're having a FaceTime conversation, right? This is how I look. And this is how I look on our coaching calls. The last thing I want is for you to see me all dull, thinking I'm, dolled up and, perfectly put together all the time, and then come on a coaching call and go, what the hell's going on here? Like I'm just a real person having a real experience, and I want to share it with you and inspire you to do the same and give you permission to do the same and feel your emotions and process them in whatever way you need to. And all the while knowing that no matter what, you are worthy of having what it is that you're striving to create. Your goals are there for a reason. Everything you desire is for you. And no matter what it looks like on the outside, whatever the physical realm looks like I said, for right now, my financial reality, like I said, yes, we do have a nice cushion in our savings account. So we're going to be just totally fine. Like we're in a position where literally if all of my clients and students dropped away and nobody was paying me a dime, we would still be able to live for over a year. No problem. Even after we buy a vehicle, like just no problem. So it's that does obviously help with the leaning into the faith and trust, knowing that no matter what, we're supported. But I don't want to eat through that either. Our goal is to continue to compound and build the savings to the point where we're making investments, and we're, I ultimately have a vision of opening a trust for my son and buying property, and maybe even coming back and buying a property maybe on Vancouver Island so we can hop between the two places. Or I don't know, I'm daydreaming here, right? But I know that what I'm experiencing right now is just right now, and it's not a forever thing. And I know that 3 years ago I would be freaking out right now. If I was in this exact same position 3 years ago, I would just be freaking right out. And that's ultimately what led me to having to get a job in the first place, is I was not trusting the process, and I wasn't taking the right inspired action. I was working with what I had at the time, but it wasn't enough. And now I have everything I need to make the right decisions. And I know that everything is going to be absolutely fine and better than fine. And we are going absolutely in the right direction. And I want you to come along for the ride and watch it happen. And I thank you so much for hanging out with me. And I hope to hang out with you again. And I would love it if you found value in this video, if you like hanging out with me, if you like these vlog videos, if you would give me a little thumbs up like button down below, and we can tell the algorithm gods that this video is valuable and that other people may want to see it as well. You're welcome to share it with friends and family as well if you think that they would benefit. And again, keep in mind that I realize that the life that I'm creating for myself, the next chapter that we're shifting into, moving into the jungle off grid, is not for everybody. But what I'm getting at is whatever your version of what I'm doing is for you is available to you, and you can lean into the faith and trust that the universe is supporting you in creating that as well, no matter what it looks like on the outside. Okay. So hit the little thumbs up button. While you're clicking buttons, you might as well hit the subscribe button and the little bell notification so that you're let know when I have a new vlog or otherwise video available for you. Thank you so much for joining me in this journey. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate your time, and I hope to see you again very soon.